Welcome to another episode of The Lamp. I'm Kokomo Lantern Publisher Pat Muncie, and I'm at the Kokomo Howard County Public Library today to talk with Caele Pemberton about some upcoming things at the library. On this episode, we're going to talk about LibraryCon. It is a pop culture convention that's going to take place all over Howard County.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how this came to be.
So the idea for this came from another library. Every year I like to attend Gen Con down in Indianapolis, and Trade Day, they focus on educators and librarians. And this library person was talking about ways to get new people in the door, engage new members of our community. And she had this idea for a system-wide library gaming convention, and I thought, well, we need to do that. So as soon as we got back from Gen Con, we sat down and started planning this, and we are doing a system-wide library gaming convention. So we've got activities at Main, South, Rusheville all day long. It's a long day, lots of fun packed in here. I'm really excited.
And each library gets something different.
Yes.
So no matter which one you go to, you're going to get a unique experience. And you can do what I'll do on that day, which is madly rush between the three to try to catch up with my favorite offerings. But let's start at the top. What is the first thing that we're going to see at the Main branch?
At Main, the very first things you can do here, down in the basement, we're going to have board games going on from 10 a.m. to 4. That is being run by the Kingdom Cards and Games. They're bringing in some volunteers to show you how to play these board games, and then they'll have them for sale as well. So if you try it out and you say, I love this game, I have to have it, you can buy it right here from them. We'll have a virtual author visit with Maureen Johnson. She's a best-selling author of the Truly Devious series. Her latest book, Death at Morning House, I'm almost finished with it, and I almost stayed up way past my bedtime last night to finish it, because it's a page turner.
Wow, all right.
Her books are gripping, they're engaging, they're meant for young adult, but as an adult, I couldn't put it down.
Most of the young adult novels are really good for adults too,
Yes,
let's be honest.
And we do have those on the shelves to check out, or you can check them out digitally through like Hoopla and Libby as well.
Which you can do through your library card.
Yes, with your library card. We have a cosplay contest going on in the Digital Den, not a contest, a cosplay workshop in the Digital Den at 10 a.m. as well. So you've got some options there to start your day at Main.
Okay, and so at this workshop, we're going to talk about what, costuming techniques or?
We have someone who does a lot of her own cosplay, and she is going to show how some of the differences between costumes that took her like days and weeks to put together, and then costumes where you can slap it together a little more quickly, and you'll see some of the quality differences and some of the techniques that you can use to get to, if you need a costume in a hurry, here's how you can do it, and here's what it'll look like.
Cool. So that's just to start with.
That's to start.
What goes throughout the day then at Main?
Yeah. So the rest of the day in the Digital Den, we will have a workshop on 3D printing for cosplay. So you can see some of the examples of things. I tried to get them to print me a Pit Boy, like a holder.
Oh, yeah.
So you can print like the component parts of that, different like little cosplay weapons. We're not encouraging you to make a real thing, but a little 3D printed
mock weapon.
Yes, a mock thing. Just those different elements to help bring your cosplay to life and really make it seem a little more realistic, a little more involved. We will have a panel on how to be a great game master, how to tell a great story with your table. We're going to have 3 game masters there, kind of discussing different techniques and ways to come up with stories and engage, with your players.
Very cool.
And then miniature painting just to finish the day. So you can either bring in a miniature that you've been wanting to paint. That's my trouble. I might have a miniature and I love the character, but I am never going to sit down and paint it. I don't want to spend my time. I've got books to read.
It's not for her, but
It's
for
not
many
for
of
me.
us, we enjoy painting miniatures.
Yes. Digital Ben, he loves it, and so he made this part of his job, and now he gets to do it all the time.
Because the library does offer a monthly miniature painting seminar active time where you can come in and the library provides the expertise and all the supplies.
The paints and things like
You
that.
just bring your miniature, and you can paint for a couple hours with someone who knows what they're doing and can teach you things about washes and shading and things like that, which is really cool.
In this particular workshop, they will have some miniatures available that were donated by local 3D printing companies, Torsten and Harvester, and we have another guy, Imagine, I believe it's Imagine 3D.
Okay.
They've donated some miniatures, so if you don't have one ready, you can come in and see what we have available.
Very cool. Yeah. So is that everything at Maine?
I think, we do have some role-playing games, but they were registration only, and we're just about full on those. So for the most part, yes, that's
unfortunately. Maybe next year or the next time that they do a con, then you can hop on. But I've also noticed that the library over the course of the year has Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing nights on a fairly regular basis. So if you miss out on playing in a game here at LibraryCon, wait a couple months, they'll have another game. They've fought a Tarrasque, which if you're a Dungeons and Dragons player, you know what that is. If you aren't, you have no clue what I just said. It's a really big creature that it took 40 or 50 people at different tables to fight.
And we are bringing the Tarrasque back. If you were at that event, you know we didn't beat the Tarrasque. Which, he got the better of us, but we're bringing him back and we're going to get revenge.
Really, you can't beat a Tarrasque. You can always slow it down.
Yeah. So no, we're taking him down this time.
Okay. So that's outside of LibraryCon, but in case you missed
in the future, keep an eye out.
Those will be opportunities. So it's not like this is new for the library. They're kind of geeky to start with. So if you are geeky, this is the place for you. And we've only covered 1/3 of the events that happened during LibraryCon on May 17th, which is a Saturday. The South Branch.
South Branch. We will have a vendor hall from 10 a.m. to 4. We've got vendors who are selling miniatures. We've got vendors who are selling comics. We've got vendors who are selling, we even have a cookie vendor. I'm really excited about that. So you can get a little treat while you're doing your shopping. All kinds of nerdy art and other kinds of, just really unique art created by real people.
That doesn't have to be nerdy. It might be, but it doesn't have to be.
Some of it will be, and some of it will be a little more, what's the word,
Traditional?
Abstract.
Oh, abstract.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got all kinds.
Impressionistic.
So come check it out. Books, DVDs, all of that will be for sale as well. I know the Friends of the Library will have a table selling DVDs, and we've pulled a lot of nerdy ones, a lot of campy horror. So I think we've got a good collection going for you there.
So there's the vendor hall. What else is going on at South?
We will have book discussions. At 11 a.m. we'll have a manga discussion. So they're going to talk about the difference between shoujo and shonen. I think I said those correctly. You can tell there are certain areas of nerd culture that I fit into a little better.
So anime and manga is not one of them.
I'm getting more into it, and so the book discussion will be a good opportunity for me. But come in and discuss the differences. They're going to work on a craft at the same time. And you can really come and talk about your favorite mangas, whatever you like best. We wanted to leave it a little open. At noon, we'll have a Brandon Sanderson discussion. He just came out with a new novel last year, so this is a good opportunity to talk about all things Sanderlanche, any aspect of his writing that you're interested in, your favorite books, your least favorite books.
I'm a complete newbie when it comes to Mr. Sanderson. I've never read any of his work. What is his work like?
So he wrote the Mistborn series, and his last novel is also part of a series that he's continuing to write. I believe he said the next one will come out in 10 years. But he's very prolific. He has also helped some really well-known fantasy writers, like he helped finish the Wheel of Time series. So just really engaging world building. He's
Maybe
very
he
thoughtful.
could finish a certain popular HBO show.
Maybe. I mean, I can imagine that they're like, okay, we've got him in the back of our minds if we ever need him to finish up a couple of series, I think, at this point.
Game of Thrones is still, 10 years now? We've been waiting for the last chapter, and
Or Name of the
probably
Wind,
never going to happen yet.
Yeah.
Maybe Sanderson. But we'll get to talk about his books
Yes.
and the possibility at South Branch during the con. And what time does that start again?
So that will be at noon at South. And then after that, we'll talk about graphic novels. We're going to do everything from the golden age or the modern age of comics. So, anything that's a little more modern. Come and talk about your favorite comics, your least favorite comics, what you'd like to get into.
That'd be a good day. That's my particular strength there.
Yeah, so come and join us for that. At 3, we will have a cosplay contest, so come decked out in your favorite cosplay. As long as it, meets our guidelines here at the library, we want you to be clothed.
Covered.
Yes, covered. But we want to see your cosplay. Come and show it off, and we will have some prizes available for the winners.
And if you were at the main library going through the seminar and the 3D printing of cosplay stuff, you can then immediately deploy it in the contest there.
Yeah, I need a costume in a hurry, like by 3 p.m. today. So come and check that out. That will be outside at the stage.
Oh.
So if you're planning to join us, I encourage you to consider bringing a camp chair. We will have some chairs, but it's always a good idea to bring a chair with you.
And in case of inclement weather?
Then we'll do it inside.
So there you go. All right, so that's 2 libraries down, but we still have the Rocheville branch.
Yes. Oh, I did forget at South, there is one more thing. Werewolf. If you've ever played Werewolf, you get a card and you're a werewolf or you're a villager, and there's a whole bunch of other personas. They're going to do that from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. as well. And that is drop in. You don't need to register. They'll just have games going on throughout the day.
And that's kind of a live action game.
It is. You play the role. So if I'm the werewolf, I'm trying to secretly eat the villagers. I don't want to be caught. So in the dead of night, I'm, eating the villagers, and the villagers are trying to suss out who is the werewolf, and they're voting people off the island, and oh no, did we vote a villager out?
Is that a rib bone in your pocket?
Yeah.
That kind of thing, right.
Lots of social manipulation going on. It's very fun. The Kingdom Cards and Games, they do this regularly. The Saturday right around the full moon every month, they host this, and so they're bringing in a volunteer for us as well.
Very cool. All right. So now we're ready to go to
Yes,
Rocheville
finally we're ready
for the third leg of Library Con.
Yes. At Rocheville, starting at 10 and going until roughly 4, we will have LARP, live action role play. If you've never heard of LARP, it sounds like the weirdest thing. I encourage you to maybe look up some YouTube videos.
Watch the movie Role Models.
Yes.
If you want to see what it shouldn't be like, but it is.
It shows you a little bit,
It's
maybe
painfully accurate, we'll say.
LARP is so much fun. It's you are using those foam weapons, and it's a mock battle, but the group that's coming in, River's Edge, they take this really seriously.
Okay.
This is, you're really pouring your focus into how would you react in this fight, and you're just doing it with fake weapons.
There is role-playing involved, but it really is about beating the crud out of each other with foam implements.
Safely.
Well, that's why it's foam.
Yeah.
Right?
We're doing that in the Nature Explore Outdoor Classroom, which is going to be a really fun little space for that. At 2 p.m. we'll have virtual reality, so you can come in and try that out. I've never done virtual reality before, so I'm going to have to give that a go.
Yeah, I've done it quite a few times, and it's a mixed bag. I mean, early on, the first time I did it was probably 1993.
Oh, wow.
In Cincinnati, and it was a stand-up thing, and you were in a cage almost, like, because they were worried about you walking off, while you were interacting. But it was mostly just pressing buttons on controllers. Today, you can stick your phone in a visor, and boom, you're doing VR. It's crazy how they've changed.
Yeah. So we're pulling a full Ready Player One, epic stakes. No, it'll be fun. They're going to do that from 2 to 4.
And the library has its own VR setup
we
at
do.
Rocheville, which is why it's at Rocheville. And you can have opportunities to use the equipment outside of Library Con. Rocheville holds certain dates throughout the month where they bring out the VR equipment, especially for teens and children.
Right.
But I think adults can probably get a turn on those before it's over. So if you haven't experienced VR, this would be a good time to at least dip your toe in the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, at 5:30, we are working with Dustin from Torsten and Harvester. They are going to be running Dungeons and Dragons. That does have a registration attached to it. We still have space, so go to our website, go to our calendar of events, get registered for that. He has created the most epic session. He has 3D printed maps, not just like elements, but the maps themselves
Are 3D printed.
are 3D printed, and he's got this epic story. I am absolutely over the moon.
I have to see this. Yeah.
And he always does such a great job when he's running these games. It's always so much fun and so engaging. So don't miss your chance to get a spot for that. Immediately after, at 9 p.m., we're going to do an outdoor movie night. It fits the theme. I can't, if you call us, we can tell you the title.
Right.
I can't tell you here for license purposes, but it fits the theme of our nerdy day for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the case with any time that there's a movie night. You'll notice that nobody really tells you what the title is, but you might get some hints. But there's a reason for that. Just show up at Roosevelt at 9 o'clock and find out.
Or give us a call. We can tell you over the phone. So, yeah.
All right. So does that wrap up everything you have for LibraryCon?
Couple more quick notes. We do have food trucks at every location that day.
Oh, yes.
At Maine, we'll have Imagine Burger, and they do have a vegetarian option. They have a black bean burger, so
very
if that's
good.
important to you. At South, we're going to have Tastefully Indiana.
Also
And they'll
a
be
good
there
one.
as well. And then at Roosevelt, Prep and Go has created a menu for the day based on the events that you'll find at Roosevelt. So there's like a LARP breakfast and it's like a very epic heroes feast. So you could basically, spend the whole day there and get all of your food.
So you can eat your way through this
Yes.
con if that's what you want
That's
to do.
what I'll be doing. I'll be eating my way through the con. But I'm really excited. This entire thing is completely free. The vendors, of course, will have things for sale, but otherwise you don't have to pay anything to come and enjoy this. It's mostly geared for adults and teens, so really all ages are welcome. It's just mostly designed for those older age groups.
Do I have to have a library card to participate?
You do not.
Can I get a library card during the day while I'm participating?
Yeah, if you are in our taxing district, we can get you signed up, no problem. If you are outside of our taxing district, we do have some options that we can explore with you while you're here. But you don't have to have a library card to come and enjoy almost any of our programs or our events, so come and check it out.
So if you didn't know that the Kokomo Howard County Public Library does things like this, it does things like this all the time. They have this newsletter that comes out every other month. It's full of activities that take place throughout the year, so you can plan your weekends and your evenings for you and the kids, or just you by yourself, all around this. There's no shortage of things that you could do. I mean, I don't think that there's a day during the year, except for maybe Christmas, where you couldn't show up to the library and have something going on.
I mean, if we're closed, then probably, but most days, yeah, we've got something, and we've got stuff for all ages. We've got great family events. We've got events if you're, in your 30s and you don't have kids and you want to just go play some Dungeons and Dragons.
So LibraryCon takes place Saturday, May 17th from 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the main part of it. Dungeons and Dragons from 5:30 to 8:30 at Roosevelt, and then the movie night at 9 p.m.
So there you go. Mark it on your calendars now. It's just a couple weeks away. You'll see me there. You'll see Caele there. I hope to see you there. And thank you for watching this video. We'll have more with the library in coming weeks. But until then, please be good to each other.